Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture, and today we're going over Disclosure's EP called Ecstasy. So, I love Disclosure. I think they're amazing. I think they have a great sound. I think they also stand out on their own, which is very big, I feel like it's kind of difficult because I'm very picky when it comes to my EDM and my dance, and I think that this one definitely, they've been consistent, and not only consistent, but also have changed their sound, and not like intensely, but like more into like gradually changing their sound, or if not change, adding more stuff to it, and I think it's really cool. I think this album is nice, I think this EP is nice. I feel like I always fall flat onto their EPs. I never really feel their EPs as much as I do their albums. But that's not to say that there's no value in their EPs. I think their EP does have great sound. And this album, this EP, I feel like it does. I feel like it also has a trend. It gives you like a disco meets an African type of sound, especially African featured people. So, like, for example, the second song, which is Tondo, featuring Roosevelt, this one has a disco sound way to it. At the same time, it's mixing with the sample of a song called Tondo Ho Mo Mu by Roosevelt. And I feel like that's it sounds really nice in that sound. I love that little kind of mix between it. I didn't really care for Ecstasy. It kind of felt like it didn't really go anywhere. But I really loved Expressing What Matters, which has a nice little, like, it sounds great and everything, but then there's a weird, they just drop the whole production that they were doing before, and just, in the middle of it, and just drops a complete disco sound, like, complete disco sound. Like, it sounds exactly like disco, and then it goes right back into like the sound that usually it did in the beginning. And I really like it. I love that little disco break. I think it really amped up a bit, definitely coming out of Ecstasy, and kind of figuring out what's going on with the sounds. I feel like that kind of gave you a nice little break. Then we, another one the other two I can just pretty much talk about. It's not like there's a long album or not. The next song after that one is Etran, which I feel like has a language of speaking throughout the whole thing, which is, when I looked it up, it's pretty much Tamashik and Fula language, and it's pretty much, those two are the language come from West Africa and Central Africa. And then it goes into Gets Close, which has a bit of a sample, which is kind of fun, from Snoop Dogg, when he was talking about mumble rap, pretty much how he doesn't really care for it, and they try to get him into the studio to do the same thing. And the thing they sample is, "Man, cut that shit off." And I feel like it's a central Snoop Dogg, and I love that they added him into it. I think it's great, and it kind of mixes very nicely with it. All in all, this is a decent EP. I just don't really feel their EPs as much as I feel their album. I feel their albums kind of give you exactly who they are. I feel like this technically does too, but I just, personally, I'm not really big on their EPs. But with this EP, it's decent, so I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I'm really interested to see where they're going to go, especially going from their first EP into their second EP, which is Carousel. One of the things, and I know I love that album. I think it was the best. I think it's better than the first one, but I think they both have their own little thing. Anyway, leave a comment below. Tell me what you thought. If you like it, if you didn't like it, if you're like me, when you're like, I don't really feel their EPs, but I definitely feel their albums. Let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video.